The Holy Bible, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 4, is a profound and foundational verse that establishes key themes for the entire biblical narrative. Here is an explanation of Genesis chapter 1 and its verse. Firstly, let's explain the verse in context. This verse is part of the first day of creation, Genesis 3-5. God speaks light into existence. Let there be light. And then this verse describes his response and action. Now, take a close look at the breakdown and meanings. God saw that the light was good. Divine evaluation. This is the first instance of God evaluating his creation. The word saw implies careful observation, discernment, and approval. It establishes that creation is not accidental or morally neutral. It is intentionally crafted and declared good by its creator. The meaning of good. Here, good tovin. Hebrew carries a sense of being fit for its purpose, beautiful, harmonious, and life-giving. Light is not just physically functional. It aligns perfectly with God's will and the flourishing of the world he is making. A foundational principle. This pattern, God creating and then declaring his work good, repeats throughout the creation account, culminating in the declaration that everything is very good, Genesis 1:31. It grounds the physical world in God's positive intent, And he separated the light from the darkness. Creation as order. The primary action of God in Genesis 1 is not making raw material. From nothing, though, that is implied, but bringing order out of potential chaos. Separation is a key method of creating this order, for example, separating waters, day from night, establishing distinction and rhythm. This separation creates the fundamental rhythm for life, day and night, evening and morning. It establishes time, cycles, and boundaries, which are essential for a functional world. Theological and symbolic meaning. Throughout the Bible, light and darkness become powerful metaphors. Light often represents God's presence, truth, revelation, life, and goodness. Psalm 27, banding 1. John 1:2-5. 1 John 1:2-5. Darkness often represents chaos, evil, ignorance, or separation from God. This initial separation establishes a cosmic framework for this symbolism. It's important to note that in Genesis 1, both are part of God's created order. He creates darkness in Isaiah 45-7, but they are distinctly separated. Key themes established in verse 4. The goodness of creation, the physical world, starting with light, is inherently good because God made it and approves of it. This opposes worldviews that see matter as evil or illusory. God is sovereign and orderly. God is in complete control, bringing order and distinction where there is none. He is the ultimate separator and classifier, the foundation for dualism, but not absolute. While light and darkness are separated and become symbols for good and evil, the Bible's story is not one of equal, eternal dualism. Darkness is a created thing, and God's ultimate goal is not just separation, but the victory of light over darkness, Revelation 22-5. In conclusion, we found that Genesis chapter 1 verse 4 is far more than a simple description of a cosmic event. It tells us that God is intimately involved with his creation, evaluating and delighting in it. The created world is fundamentally good and ordered because God made it so, starting with the basic structures of time and light. Godes. Act of separating light from darkness is the first step in bringing a life-sustaining order out of formlessness, setting the stage for all that follows, both in the physical world and in the Bible's spiritual symbolism.